On today's episode of Watch JR Go, we're done with the truck and we're starting on the next project on the channel. And guess what? It's a two-door foreign sports car.
Feels fancy. Chairs though?
It is very fancy. This is a nice setup. If we just had some lights and maybe some professional crew.
Like a table with a plant on it.
And maybe water. You gotta have water.
Yeah.
Some coffee mugs. What is going on, guys? I'm Watch JR Go, and today we are here at Josh's shop because we're starting work on Josh's car. No, it's not the Audi R8. It's don't act disappointed. This is an Austin Healey Sprite. And this is that's an engine for one. Josh has a pretty epic story about this car, and we've been moving it around for a while now to make room to work on other things. It's been sitting on the porch. But the car is basically just a bunch of boxes. All this stuff just went on because it's a bunch of boxes.
It's basically a kit car.
Yeah, it is. Has a VIN number and a title.
I've owned this car for going on 6 years, maybe even more now.
Uh-huh.
I bought it as a project with a buddy of mine who also likes to work on cars. We found it on Craigslist.
Yep.
And it looked like a quick, easy, put it together, flip it, make a couple bucks, and have fun. And then our work schedules split after that, and we never got time to like sync up to work on it together. And it just sat, unfortunately, in a barn for almost 6, maybe 7 years now.
Yeah, it's been a long time. And I mean, it was literally in boxes. The story of how you got it's pretty crazy, but the story of how it got here is almost as crazy because it was sitting on the ground on like, what, a couple blocks of wood or something. We had to like assemble the front end just to get it over here on a trailer and into the garage.
Yeah. So I'll back up till I guess for the way I found it on Craigslist, like I said. Seller had a suspiciously low price on it, and the car looked beautiful in the picture.
Gotcha.
It looked like a ready-to-drive car. Couldn't believe the price on it. So I said, you got it? I got to come check it out. Showed up. It had a brand new paint job. Looked beautiful. Unfortunately, had no engine, no transmission, no brakes, no radiator.
In a body shop, right?
Anything that knows the guy was doing body work out of his garage.
Oh, okay.
I do think he owned a shop.
At the guy's house.
Yep.
Gotcha.
Sketchy Craigslist deal.
Of course.
It has to be sketchy.
Right. Otherwise it wouldn't be a Craigslist.
It's not interesting.
I mean, this is from the time when Craigslist was still a thing. It's not like anyone uses it now.
Yeah, the dude lived in the country, so we had to drive out on a dirt road. Story of the car, a guy got commissioned to paint the car to go into a sports bar.
Okay.
While the guy was painting it and getting it ready, the sports bar folded up. I don't know the details on that, but he never got paid for the body work. So he listed it for the price of the bodywork, essentially. He just wanted his money out of it. So I handsomely whipped out as much money as I could.
Sure.
Didn't ask many questions. He had everything he removed from it because it was going into the sports bar. Yeah, everything that had fluids in it at one time had fluids in it had to be removed.
Sure.
And he didn't do it politely or nicely. He got out the hacksaw.
He removed it.
Got out the saw. Ripped everything out of it.
Everything with fluids.
But kept it, thankfully. So we forked over the cash, towed it home, and ordered a couple grand worth of parts from Victoria British, yep. Parts showed up, and that's where we kind of hit a brick wall with our schedules splitting. And I just bought out my partner, the other half of it, about a couple months ago. And it's been living on the patio, as you guys have probably seen in the background in a couple shots.
Under a blanket, kind of hidden. Car camo.
Right. It wasn't a project I intended to take on right now, but it's kind of one I need to get
down
out from underneath. It's been kind of a dark cloud following me around. It's always that one in the background. And every time I see a cool car, I'm like, oh man, I should get that. But I need to finish the Healey first.
Are you talking about Audi R8s? Is that?
Oh, you got one? That'd be cool.
One of these days, this summer, coming soon.
Yeah, eventually.
Yep. Well,
so that's your dark cloud.
Yeah.
This is my dark cloud.
Yep. They're all two-seat sports cars. That's how it works.
Yep.
We're going to put this thing together now. And as you can see, all of these boxes behind us basically are parts for this car. And this is just fun to sit here and do. The water pump went on yesterday, and I've just been sitting here doing this ever since.
I think there's another truckload of parts in that barn still.
Oh no.
There's the fenders, the hood, the door.
I was going to say, there's a bunch of body parts I haven't seen.
The interior.
Yep.
Most of it's new.
Huh.
And I think you're going to be surprised when you see it all show up.
That's going to be crazy.
But at this point, it's almost like a giant Lego kit.
Yep.
I have almost literally everything for this car. Maybe a couple nuts, bolts, hoses, wires, or something. But
yeah,
I guess we'll just take it as it comes. And
I mean, this only looks complete because it was sandblasted and painted yesterday.
Just yesterday, spent most of the afternoon in the driveway with a sandblaster.
Yep.
And hit it with some paint.
And carbs are temporary on there, so nothing's together yet. It's just here because it looks a lot cooler like this.
Just basically a giant Lego project at this point.
Yeah.
Tons of parts and bags of boxes. I don't even remember what I bought. This was so long ago.
Just bought one of
threw
each.
the credit card at it. There was like the suggested parts. People who bought this also bought that. I was like, yeah, that looks cool.
Need that too.
Might need that too. Cool. Yeah, we'll take that as well.
I mean, so far we're only missing what? The gasket on the damper for the car up there?
Yeah, and I think the grommets for the bolts
the
and the
rubber
valve
grommets for
cover.
the bolts.
The little things, the belt I got doesn't fit.
Okay.
So another V-belt, that's simple.
That's cheap enough too.
But yeah, there's transmission is going to be the next thing to get sandblasted. And maybe opened up just to look to make sure there's nothing laying inside of it that needs cleaned out.
Sure.
Replaced, make sure the bearings aren't shot.
fun.
Maybe a flywheel resurface, a clutch.
Yeah.
Probably start with drivetrain.
And we probably need to take the front end back apart probably and check it out because it was hastily assembled.
You're right. Yeah. So my friend had it in his shop, and he was working night shift, trying to stay awake during the daytime, and he would work on it intermittently.
Sure.
Take things apart and sandblast a piece here, sandblast a piece there, paint a piece. So we may be missing a couple nuts or bolts or washers or something.
Yeah, I remember it was a heck of a Lego puzzle with no instructions, obviously, to get the front end to all fit.
There were multiple cars that had been disassembled and reassembled throughout the years in the shop. So in the boxes we got, there's some extra parts. Hopefully there's nothing missing. But
what year is this thing?
62 Austin Healey Sprite Mark II, I believe. The Mark I was the frog eye.
Okay.
Mark II, probably the lesser.
Bug eye?
What's that?
Is that a bug eye?
No, the Mark II is not a bug eye. It doesn't have the cool headlights up on top of the hood.
Gotcha.
These are more of a flat-nosed.
Okay.
Looks more like an MG, to be honest with you.
Okay.
It's lesser desirable because the headlights aren't as, I guess, cool.
Sure.
Not such a character.
But I guess the bug eyes are probably the inline six cars, right?
No, they're four-cylinder also.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but they're the small four-cylinder, like the 949cc, and this is the 1100cc, so it's a little...
Beast mode.
Yeah, a little bigger. I think they ended up with like a 1500
in
the later MGs before they quit production. But and that's an option. Should we get into this and realialize that we're missing too many parts, we could go find an MG and swap it in, or I've even thought of like a Miata.
Yep, Miata engine. It's one of the greatest ever.
Or like a 2.3 turbo from a turbo coupe.
Yep.
Or an SVO Mustang.
Or a Honda RC51.
Or a Casey. Yes, I do have one of those. We talked about that.
Yep.
A little V-twin 1000cc, that'd be pretty cool.
But the goal is to just put this back together, so the one that spins.
I'd like to make it run, drive, sell it on to somebody else to enjoy. I don't want to tear it apart, chop it up. And it's just too complete. It's too good looking. It's just too cool of a car.
It looks perfect. Speaking of it looking perfect, let's take you guys around and show you all these parts and the car. So here are the first couple boxes, the totes and everything that was hanging out in here. And this stuff's all freshly painted and then gently put back in here. So there's fuel fill neck, flywheel, these exhaust, is that what that is? Exhaust clamps?
Exhaust clamp, yeah.
Those are crazy.
I know.
It's like the super early bad version of a V-band clamp.
And I think these are mostly brass. I know they're brass and nuts, but I think...
The bolt's brass for sure.
When I sandblasted it, I remember thinking, that was really cool.
That is cool.
I wanted to make sure it went back on.
Well, it probably conforms to these flanges pretty well right there. So that's something. You got to give it that soft metal.
Seat tracks, bumper brackets. I'm not sure what this thing is, but I blasted it and painted it anyway.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We've got some very small, cute wiper blades right there and all the trim for the top and everything like that.
It's pretty pitted. I'm afraid we may have to powder this.
Okay.
Or I don't know if we can grind those pits out of it.
Yeah.
But I think if we powder coat it, like some type of a mirror, like a bright stainless.
Sure.
That might be the move.
I mean, the polished section looks pretty good.
Yeah, I think I tried with a wheel and some compound, but it just brought out all the pits.
Yeah, it did. It does show the pits. Yeah, that's for sure. We got the shift boot here, made out of metal. And
little heater box.
yep.
Cover. I don't know that I have a heater core for it. I didn't really plan on putting a heater in it.
Yeah.
In my opinion, it seems like an afterthought on these cars.
Yeah.
Because it sticks up right behind the engine, and it's really odd looking.
Sure.
And under all the ductwork.
Right.
It's
just the
flexible
dryer
plastic tube. Yeah, and it looks kind of silly.
Huh.
And honestly, even with the top on it,
yeah,
it's going to be so drafty if you had the heat on full blast.
What
just your toes would be warm, I think.
Right.
It's
like all it's really good for is maybe some defrost because there's no AC, obviously.
Right.
So.
But I think it's going to be so drafty that won't be a problem.
Yeah. Yeah. Just so much outside air. There's no defrost needed.
Yep.
Here we have horns, Ruckus, headlight buckets, starter. There's a big old starter back there. That's for sure.
Yeah.
With a big shaft drive, set of pedals.
And all the inner fender panels.
Yeah.
Headlight buckets, radiator.
Wheel,
spare tire, rear mirror.
There's another distributor cap, which is kind of cool with wires in it already.
That's original.
Headlights, bolts. This clutch is awesome. That's my kind of clutch right there. It's barely a sport bike clutch. That's crazy.
I think these cars came with 62. Maybe I'm just thinking 62 because it is a 62, but I want to say it's in the 60 horsepower.
Huh.
And that might be an exaggeration.
Yeah, that's a few horsepower.
Right, that might be optimistic.
For this large lawnmower engine.
Yeah.
White steering wheel, which is crazy because those are really hard to find, actually. And it doesn't seem like it was painted, but maybe it was.
It could have been.
Could have been.
Almost all the cars I've seen had
black steering wheel.
Black interior.
Yeah.
Black seats, door panels, everything.
And this one has a white dash.
Yeah.
And
this one's been obviously recovered in white vinyl.
Yeah.
And it's got white door cards, white. I think most of the interior trim is white except for the seats.
Yeah.
You got the seats done yet.
Yeah, the seats are blue.
And I understand the white because it's not going to get hot.
It offsets the red too. It's a nice touch.
But I don't know if I want white interior in this car because it came black. I feel like black's to go.
Sure.
Or tan maybe.
Uh-huh.
So I don't know. We'll have to see.
Oh, and here's the wall of brand new parts. Check that out.
Yeah.
Here's a trim, complete wiring harness, gasketry, tag, all kinds of parts. New wiper blades even. That's cool. It's actually kind of weird that you have the whole blade and not a refill for this.
I know, right?
Yeah, and with the rest of the bolts and grommets, all that fun stuff. So tons of parts.
I think I'm going to keep finding more parts.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
I bought like 4 large boxes of parts.
We're gonna need all those boxes pretty quick.
Yeah.
Oh, and brand new tires, right?
Oh yeah, the seller put new tires on it because it was destined to go into that restaurant.
Had to look good.
I don't know if they're just gonna like sit in it and eat out of it, or if it was just. I have no idea what
Just
a sports bar would be doing with an Austin Healey. But
It seems weird. It seems more like a Corvette kind of thing.
yeah.
Got Smith's gauges. Those look nice. Dual oil and water. Pretty cool.
Oh yeah, look over here.
What do you got?
This might have been one of the boxes.
Ah, yeah.
Full stainless exhaust.
That is super nice looking.
How tiny it is.
All brand new. Yeah, it's 1.5, 1 inch, something like that.
Yeah.
Cute. And the other part of this car that's cool is when we need to move it, you just put a hand on the wheel barrel. Just pick it up. I know it won't do that with the engine. The engine weighs a little bit, but that's pretty cool. The shock absorbers and the dampers on this are really cool. Those are fluid filled right there, and it just slows down the movement with this arm. It's on the bump stop right now because there's no weight on the front end. I've never seen a Mohawk before.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
Is it 4-speed, right?
It's also what's stamped on the timing cover of the engine.
Oh yeah, a Mohawk. Check that out. This thing has lots of cool stampings on it, like the firing order on the intake and the firing order on the carbs. It's just all over the place.
Got a Purelator logo here on the top of the filter.
Purelator and the Devils. What do you call it, Ruckus Electronics? The
Broken.
broken. Yeah, there's a name for it. It's really funny. Everyone calls it like the Devil's Electronics.
That's funny.
This thing looks like it's been repaired a little bit.
Yeah, it looks like it got windowed at one time. I don't know if maybe for a repair, it was easier to
cut it than fix it.
Than to drop it out of the car.
Yeah.
Because if you look, I think that transmission
tunnel
sits inside the car.
Oh, it does sit inside the car, and that hole is like lined up with that hole right there. There's an oval cut right in the floorboard.
Huh.
Yeah, what's in this window? Oh, the whole transmission's in this window. Too bad we can't shift it with the shifter.
There's a shifter over there.
We can put it in it. Ah, that is cool.
Fourth.
Nope.
First.
Didn't want to go in.
Second. I'm losing all my leverage over here. I can't go at an angle.
Right.
That's pretty cool.
Guess we need to clean that up, get a gasket on it, and fill it with some Motul gear oil.
Motul for the Mohawk.
Motul for the Mohawk. Okay, we went and grabbed the gas tank. We're going to try to take a look inside here. See what we can see. That doesn't look bad. It might be gooey, but it's not rusty at all.
No.
Huh. I guess we could pour a bunch of fuel in there and give it a good shaking. Oh, the cinder's coming out. Cool. Interesting.
Glued to the bottom.
It was definitely glued to the bottom. That's nasty, but does the cinder run? Ooh.
We have to have that taken and steamed.
This does need cleaned, and it smells terrible, but cinder seems locked up too.
Ugh.
It smells terrible. But yeah, we definitely need to pour some gas in this thing and let it sit.
I was surprised when I started looking at parts for these.
How cheap they are?
How cheap they are.
Huh.
What I could figure is they mass produced these so heavily back in the 50s and 60s and 70s. They made millions of parts, and I don't know if they just quit selling them or continue making parts for some reason, and you can still buy these cars, most parts for them, brand new, out of a catalog, not reproduction, actual brand new NOS parts.
That's pretty crazy.
For fairly cheap. In the States, you got to pay for the the shipping, but.
And now we need to replace that gasket from the cinder for sure.
Yeah.
It's it's not even on there. I didn't rip it. Yeah.
I was gonna blame you.
Yeah.
I still will.
Haha. I got you already. You know what you're gonna do.
Brake lines and fuel lines I didn't get because I didn't know
exactly what you need.
Yeah, how in depth the damage was done, or how much of it was cut out. But after looking at it, every inch of it is gone.
Yeah. So we can redo the brake lines with like Nicor line, something bendable, and it shouldn't be too bad to work with. The brake lines to the actual brakes, just that little 1 foot section, we can have redone locally in rubber or braided, whatever. And fuel line, and we can do whatever there. Copper, steel, rubber, anything will make that happen.
Probably aluminum, it's cheap.
Probably aluminum, yeah. And they might even make it. They might be able to ship those. The other thing is the fuel pump is it's an SU setup, so it's a high pressure fuel pump, and luckily it's here. If it wasn't here, that'd be pretty tough. So yeah, even the rebuilds are expensive on those.
So we talked about the fuel system already off camera, because I'm not a carburetor guy. I don't think John is either.
I just hate them.
Maybe we adapt some like Makunis, slide style Makunis for a motorcycle, and just like make our own plates to adapt it.
It also appears that there's a Weber, but honestly, we can probably just put these back together. They're basically complete, so they should work.
Bulletproof once you get them.
Yeah, should be fine. Absolutely. Oh, hi, Sir Chunks-a-lot. You like the Austin Healey? Is that a yes? Okay, cool. Anyway. Welcome to the next project on the channel. We've known this was coming for some time. I did post it once on Instagram. If you guys aren't following me over there at WatchJRGo, you can sometimes see previews of projects and stuff like that. And everyone said, do a build series on this. So I was like, I guess we better do it. And this shouldn't take too long in reality, because basically every part we could ever need is here. So we're gonna get right on this, hopefully knock it out soon. Don't worry, the RE is coming this summer for sure. I've got a lot of cool stuff coming up for you guys, so don't think we're going anywhere on any other project. And thank you guys so much for watching. As always, don't forget to head on over to shop.watchjrgo.com to get cool shirts like the one I'm wearing underneath this. And please, like, share, subscribe, do whatever you wanna do, and I will talk to you next time. Meow. Not impressed.
Oh no. On the camera?
Yeah, right on. Well, that looks pretty cool.
Looks minty.
Ooh, brand new engine.